Good morning. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, early risers. People who are ready to take their business to the next
I
level.
see them already.
Already hopping on in here.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tarsha. Oh, hold on. Let me mute my. I got feedback. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Feedback, feedback, feedback. Oh, hold on. Let me mute my. I got feedback. Technology. Gotta love it. All right. Yeah, we're good. Good morning. Yeah, they can hear us. All right, all right. How y'all doing this morning? Rhonda, how are you this morning? Miss Rhonda got us there. We got Megan hopping in, Roberta. We got some iPhone users. Chantel, Jalen's hopping on in here.
How are y'all dealing with this cold weather? Ooh, it's chilly outside.
We like the cold weather.
Who's we? As in you?
We cold weather people. We the cold weather people like cold weather. We should do. I will get just finished my morning walk. Wow. Okay. That's some dedication.
Go on, Wanda.
That's some... Okay. All right. Well, we don't speak Spanish. But she said I think she said it's cold. I think that's what she said.
Yeah.
I think she said it's cold. Let me say, I don't know.
Cold in Spanish.
Yeah. We'll give people a few more minutes to jump on before we get started. She said, hurry up. All right. Well, I think she's talking to her family. We'll give people a few minutes to jump on here, and then we will get going as we talk about self-discipline today. Self-discipline is the conversation today.
That should be interesting.
I got some interesting stats. Not stats. I got an interesting fact, actually. Okay. We always talk about there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
And I have something that I think all y'all gonna be shocked about.
Even me?
Even what do you mean? Even you? Yes, even you. It's something that everybody. I'm not gonna say it right now. I'm gonna say when we get into it, but okay. It shocked me. And then I said, I don't know why this shocked me. Because it makes total sense. Anyway, we're gonna get into it. All right, a few more minutes, and then we will pop off here at 9:35. Look at all these business owners ready to get some business done. Look at Cassie is up and ready to get business done. Tracy, Jenna, Trina.
I hope nobody thinks business isn't getting done in this time because I am signing CDAs left and right. People are out here still closing deals, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you guys out here hustling, out here making it happen. In spite of what you might hear on the news, in spite of what other people are saying, you guys are out here really making a difference and impacting people's lives. So I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, yeah, they're getting it. They're getting it, and it's a testimony.
It is a testimony.
All right, 9:35. As more people are hopping on, we're gonna get started to respect those that have got here at 9:30. Thank you so much for your punctuality. People used to say, everybody says that their grandma said, if you're on time, you're late.
That's what Bishop was talking about.
My grandma never said that, but everybody say their grandma said that. They got
if you're on time, you're late. That's what
I heard that in corporate America. I didn't hear that from my grandmama. I think as you get older, we attribute stuff to older. Like my grandmama said, yeah, you ain't hear that from your grandmama. You heard that from your cousin John.
He said his mama. Anyway,
I'm just saying. Every Monday morning, we start Monday Morning Mindset off in prayer. You do not have to be a Christian to be connected to us. This is something that we do to recognize where our faith comes from. We give God the glory in all things. So we do that every Monday morning and opening up in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for your grace and your goodness. Thank you for watching over and protecting us. Thank you for bringing us through this weekend. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for the wisdom that you're allowing us to obtain. Thank you, God, for the grace that you give us to make it through each and every day. Let us move with swiftness. Let us move with decisiveness. Give us insight during this session so that we can grow, expand, and continue to move forward in our businesses. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, boy.
Did you make Libby a co-host?
Self-discipline, huh?
Did you make Libby a co-host?
Listen, lady, I'm on top of my job. You know what?
You welcome.
Why is this? Why is this every Monday morning mindset?
We got the brain. I'm gonna help meet.
We got to bring people into this constant little back and forth we have. You know, I think the people on my side. I think we did a poll. Mm-hmm. We did a poll right now. Let me see how many guys I got. I got to wait for the guys to show up. So we'll do a poll later.
You'll be waiting.
If we do a poll later. Because there might be some bias in there. I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying there might be. If we did a poll later, I think people say, I think Kenny's got it. He on top of it. No?
No, I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
And then they'd say, thank God for Tanika.
You know what? We're going to move on. Cassie, before we get into our discipline, our self-discipline, please, what training do we have going on this week here at TD Realty?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Another fun-filled week. Script practice after Monday Morning Mindset, 11 a.m. I will be leading this script practice, so come at your own risk. Just kidding. It'll be fun. Script practice at 11. Tomorrow lunchtime, we have Are You Spooked by 1031 Exchange. So if you don't know what 1031 Exchange is, or you need a refresher, come out to Allegiance Title. It's right here off of Matlock in Mansfield. They're going to do a lunch and learn from 12 to 1. We do have an email to RSVP if you can, so that we have enough food for lunch, please. Wednesday, a realtor safety class. So we have this being hosted at a special location. Texas Roadhouse is going to be opening up their restaurant just for us for lunch. Our sponsors are Providence Title, Platinum Mortgage, and American Legend Homes. So come out, hear what they have to offer us, learn some realtor safety to keep you and your clients safe in the field, and get a delicious lunch. This is RSVP only. You have to register, you have to reserve your spot, and there's only 4 spots left. So make sure you have filled out the form, selected your entree. If you need help with that, let me know, because if you're not on the list, you won't be able to get in, because they're prepping our food ahead of time. That is also CE credit for $10 if you need CE credit. Wednesday evening, this is a special evening, fun event put on by Goosehead. There's a place in Fort Worth called Selfie World. I don't know if anybody's been to it, but it looks tons of fun. They have all these setups for you to take fun selfies. This will be great to build up part of your social media for the next year. Take some great shots at these different backdrops that they have. Again, that's Goosehead, Wednesday night, 6 to 7 in Fort Worth. So be sure to RSVP for that as well. Thursday, regular class here at 10 a.m. here at the office, in person and virtual. That class topic has just been switched. I was just notified that that instructor isn't going to be able to make it. They're going to bring us in a different instructor, so we may have a different topic. So stand by for that. I'll get that announcement sent out later. That's also by Allegiance Title here at the office. That's it.
Safety luncheon at
y'all better get in. I just did
Texas
my RSVP.
Roadhouse.
Wow.
What? Did you just RSVP?
Yes.
She literally was on the phone RSVPing.
Y'all, and thank you to our vendors.
I think we need to pay attention to the calendar.
I know, so I'm like, oh my God.
They didn't tell us nothing about Texas Roadhouse.
How y'all slip that in?
We taking the whole Texas Roadhouse down? What?
Ooh, y'all better get in.
We just
there
RSVP.
are now 3
Wait a minute, 3?
left.
Did you RSVP for me?
Oh no, was I supposed to?
Wow. Okay. See, you know what?
It said realtor safety.
I don't, you know what? I don't need no RSVP. I don't need no RSVP.
No, you sure
I'm
don't.
showing up.
There you go.
I'm showing up. You know that's how people do. Be like, I don't wear no badge. They know who I am. You better put on the badge. I need the RSVP.
If you want food, RSVP.
Dang, that's cool.
They got the whole
You show up. You just might not be able to eat.
Tell them, Cassie.
That's cool. You see, there is no special treatment here at TD Realty. I just wanted to be clear. There's no. So when y'all text me because y'all mad about compliance, following the rules, and be like, I need y'all to skip these rules. I don't even get to skip the rules.
No.
That's cool. And my wife didn't even RSVP me. We're gonna talk about that later. For all the fellas, I need the fellas to do a men's meeting. I see you. I see you, Eddie. I see you, Eddie. All right. Good deal. And also next month, Marion said I just RSVP. I need somebody to RSVP for me because I'm kind of busy right now.
Are you serious? We
and
can't tell if you're serious.
One slot left. You know what? I buy my own lunch. Y'all don't want to RSVP for me.
Would you stay focused, man?
I buy my own lunch. Me too. Demarius says me. Oh man, ain't no more spots. It's too late. Only one left. I took it. Woo, we got some gangsters here at TD Realty. Okay.
See y'all there.
So, we got to get this doggone thing moving. We are talking about self-discipline.
Okay, let's talk about
That's what we're talking about today. But I was going to ask, next month, I know we have boot camp coming. I know we didn't mention that because it's not this week. But Cassie, do we still have boot camp slots open for next month, or are they full?
Yes, they are open. I will get some more information sent out on that. So definitely boot camp is next month, November 9th and 10th. So I will be getting that registration sent out as well as a reminder. Yes, we do have more room.
Y'all, please sign up for boot camp. If you listen, I've had it's good to see the agents that come repeatedly, but it'd be really nice to see the newer agents or agents that are new to TDR to come. There's so much great content and learning from each other, whether it's contracts, title, mortgage, entrepreneurship, strategies. It all is designed to help you grow your business and to brand yourself. So if you haven't taken the time to do it, sign up, y'all. It's going to be well worth it. You get to network with other TDR agents that are here as well. So it's a good time had by all. So I would encourage you, if you haven't, to sign up. And I look forward to seeing y'all. I started off with contracts, 3 amazing hours of contracts. Now, who doesn't want to sign up for that?
I think they all just signed up.
I think you're going to want to. That's your bread and butter, y'all. While you're playing, 90% of our business is done with 1 to 4 residential contract, the 1 to 4 residential contract. So it would be worthwhile to make sure you completely understand it and how to leverage it and maximize it. Particularly, I believe, I've said it today, what's today, October the 30th, multiple offers will be coming back mid to the end part of next year when these interest rates start doing what they're going to do. So you can play if you want to, but if you understand these contracts and how to really set your contract and your offer apart, or when you're on the listing side, how to navigate and differentiate these offers, I'm telling you, you're going to wish you'd taken the class.
You know, if people took more time to understand their contracts then explain the contracts to clients,
yes,
we probably wouldn't have this class action lawsuit going on right now relative to listing agreements. If people really understood what the contract says and who the contract is between, right? And then agents actually were able to communicate that, we probably wouldn't have the confusion in our marketplace that we say to buyers, the listing agent pays the seller pays my commission. That is a lazy way to explain an incorrect statement. That is not the truth. That is not the reality. And it's not our session for this one.
But I think we should have a session on that.
Yeah, we definitely will have a session on that to understand wording matters.
What you say
matters. And we've gotten, I think in society as a whole, we've just gotten lazy with words and we just say it how we want to say it, regardless of the meaning of it, or even if understanding how we're saying it is correct, right? And so it is just easier to say because it sounds good, because most of the time we're just trying to avoid what we can consider conflict or tough conversations, right? So it's easier to say to someone, well, somebody else is paying for it. You don't worry about it. And that's fine. You can say that, just make sure you're pointing to the right somebody else.
Correct.
Right? Just make sure you're pointing to the right somebody else and explaining how you're actually getting paid for your services, right? And that's the mess that we have going on right now with the class action lawsuits. And then there's a bunch of people jumping on that bandwagon and misunderstanding what this class action lawsuit is about. So then they're pontificating on all the different things that could be and could go wrong or could happen. Y'all like that?
Look at that SAT word. Look at that SAT word.
Don't ask me to spell it. Pontificating, right? So all these people are talking about the potential impacts to the industry, where this case in and of itself is not trying to solve that or even has anything to do with that. This is about money. This case is about money. The impact of it may have some effects, but don't get it twisted. If the case is lost, it doesn't mean the industry has blown up and changed. It just means that there will ultimately be an appeal, because this case is about money. Don't get this twisted, right? So anyway, we won't go in there today, but here's something. Last week, I think it was last week, we were talking about the origin of fast food restaurants.
Okay.
All right, you don't even remember. That's a shame. The origin of fast food restaurants. And I was looking into that, and I ran across this word, thermopolium.
Ooh, thermopolium.
Thermopolium, right? Because if I took a poll, and maybe you raise your hand, if I took a poll and I said, how many of you think that fast food restaurants were created in the last 50 years, 40 years, 30 years? I think the majority of us would raise our hands somewhere in there. Or how many of you think that fast food restaurants or the fast food concept is an American concept or a New World concept? People would raise their hand and be like, yeah, I agree with that. Well, let me introduce you to thermopolium. And I'm going to share my screen right quick, because this is interesting. Maybe just to me. That's possible. You know, these things do happen. Thermopolium, y'all see my screen? Is an actual ancient Greek Roman word. A thermopolium was a spot where if you didn't have a restaurant in your house, you can go and get hot food. They sold it in the marketplace, and it looks like an outdoor grill right here in this picture. A little outdoor grill setup. But basically, this was your first fast food restaurant, right? This was your first fast food concept. Where people who didn't have a place to cook or didn't have the time to cook could go by and buy food fast.
Interesting.
Right? Ancient Greek, Roman. They say nothing new under the sun. We always think that we're coming up with these new things, and the reality is a lot of the times we're not. A lot of this stuff has already been done. We may be doing it better, right? We may have a newer way to do it. We may make it taste better, right? But if we don't know history, we're doomed to repeat history. If we don't understand how things have happened in the past, we're doomed to think, one, more highly of ourselves than we're not. We're doomed to think that we are the creators of things. And we're also not understanding trends and not understanding how not to overreact when things come into place. And that's what we're seeing in our marketplace right now.
It's a lot of that happening. People who have never experienced 8% interest rates are kind of freaking out. When if they knew the history, they've known that this has been, we were in a a whole different era or world with these lower percent interest rates, which probably will never ever come back again.
Even though they were hearing the words historically low. Right?
Yeah,
historically low. But they were not connecting the fact that historically low does not last forever.
No.
And that is not normal.
Correct.
Right. But not only with that, we're repeating mortgage products that people are thinking is new.
Yeah. ARMs, 2-1 buy down, those words that people were maybe not familiar with because they've been in real estate for 2.5 years and really never had to experience. But I remember ARM. I had an ARM on one of my homes before. I remember that specifically. So yes, it's historical. It's just like a circle coming right back. Fashion. Same stuff.
Same stuff. It all comes back. They put a little twist on it, right? They do something different with it, but the baseline is the same thing.
It is.
Right? Assumable mortgages. It's not new.
Not at all.
Right? But people are now all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, assumable mortgage. This is a new product. No, it's not. It is not a new product. There's a lot of old things now coming back because the market at specific times requires specific things, right?
The only thing new is that it's new to you.
It's just new to you, right? And so in that, you absolutely need to become educated on it.
Yeah.
I love when people put in Workplace, they put questions about the different mortgage loan products that they're hearing about, assumable mortgages, things like that. And we get a chance to educate them on these products. So if you run into something that you don't recognize, first ask your lender partner.
Definitely.
Right? Ask your lender partner because they're supposed to be the experts, right? But definitely drop it in Workplace. Drop a question in Workplace and ask the broker and let us direct an answer. And so then we all learn together.
And then attend these amazing opportunities we have here at the brokerage. Excuse me, last week, Mark Charles with Supreme Lending was here doing a mastermind with the lender. We had a lot of great content and questions that came up that since you weren't there, you were not privy to. And so just taking advantage of opportunities like that can help you be more well-rounded and understand how to explain things or have, hey, you know what, let me reach out to such and such because I heard about this type of thing. Let me connect the dots. A lot of times, deals are done simply because of the networking and the connectivity that you do because you gleaned a little bit here and now you know who to call.
Right.
So it's one of these things. Are we talking about diligence today? Would you say?
Self-discipline.
Self-discipline. Part of the self-discipline I think about being a realtor was that I had to really find opportunities for me to grow and expand my business acumen. If you do not do that, you are not going to be the best for your client base that you can be. And so if you're not taking advantage of just the trainings that happen, whether it be the exchange, the
1031 exchange.
Thank you. Coming up. I know all y'all don't know about investors and the 1031 exchange. So why would you not sign up for that? I mean, little things like that can help your business. You get a call weekly, probably from an investor. I get so many calls. I'm like, spam, you're spam, quit calling me. But they're investors. They want an opportunity. But how will you be able to vet a good investor? How will you be able to understand if they're really legit unless you understand how they're spending their money? And if they called and talked about 1031 exchange and you had no clue, you can't help them at all.
You can't help them.
So self-discipline is making sure that you are taking the time to learn more. You're taking time out of your week or your day to study up on something that you haven't, you don't have the expertise on yet. Our knowledge library is amazing. If you guys have not had a chance to get into Workplace and just any topic you can think of is probably there. So
when we do our recruiting sessions, and then we're going to really get into self-discipline here. When we do our recruiting sessions and we show people the knowledge library, and many of you all can contest to this, they are amazed. They're amazed of that knowledge library. But my question, and I never asked them this because they're new, right? Sure. They're in the recruiting session. But I do wonder, once people come on, how much time they actually spend in the knowledge library.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably.
How much time do they actually spend in the knowledge library because educating yourself is the one thing that will never be taken from you.
Never.
No one can ever take your knowledge. It can never be taken from you. And you never know. I laugh, and Libby, I'm gonna pick on Libby for a minute. Because Libby is a book full of what I like to give her a hard time. I say, Libby, you got so much useless information in your mind. Like, you have so much useless information. I give her a hard time, but the reality is
she's great.
It's useless maybe in the moment when we're having a conversation. But as she continues to grow in life, that accumulation of information and knowledge
will be useful.
It's gonna absolutely be useful. Yes. She uses it now. She uses it in many ways now, but she'll drop a fact
like,
out of nowhere. It's like, this has nothing to do with what we talking about, but she would drop a fact out of nowhere in a minute, right? But it is that accumulation of knowledge, and we have to have that mindset. The more educated you are, and I'm not talking book smarts here necessarily in and of itself, because that is not the only knowledge available. That is not the only smarts available. But educating yourself in the veracity of things that you deal with as a business owner, educating yourself in better communication styles, educating yourself in how to tell stories, educating yourself in contracts, educating yourself in mortgages. That doesn't mean you become the expert in every area. It means these are parts of your business model that you need to have better understanding of, to the point where you can minimally communicate it on a kindergarten level.
Correct.
Just a basic understanding, to the ability to communicate it to your client. But to educate yourself takes self-discipline.
Right.
Self-discipline. The education of yourself takes self-discipline. But I want to talk about self-discipline from a little bit of a different angle. I want to come from it from a different angle. And I want to come from it from the angle of not quitting. Not quitting. And not quitting, I want to tie that into not being afraid to fail.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Not being afraid to fail.
But nobody likes to fail.
Nobody likes to fail. We use these things like failing forward. You know, we'll come up with all these fancy things to try to trick our mind, right? To make it not seem like we're failing, right? But I was listening to a podcast, and the guy said something along these lines. I'm going to paraphrase it. He said, failing should not be fearful because it's not working against you. Failing should not be fearful because failing is not working against you.
Okay.
And that made me think about Thomas Edison for a second, right? Because we all know, and if we went to any kind of school, we've all been taught or told about Thomas Edison and the number of times he failed, right, before he discovered the light bulb. And I was watching the Rangers game the other night, not the one they lost, the first one. I was watching the Rangers game in the World Series, and the announcers were talking about how the batters were gathering information. The more pitches that the opposing team had to pitch, it was getting information to the batters. And for me, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, this dude just struck out. This dude just walked. This dude, like, it doesn't look like they're being successful. But while it looked like they were being unsuccessful to someone who's just sitting there casually watching, what I didn't realize is that every pitch gives data. Every pitch gives information if you're paying attention.
Okay.
And if you go back and assess it, you start picking up habits. And you start seeing habits and trends. And in those habits and trends, you can come up with predictions of what's going to be next.
Gotcha.
Right? Who knew baseball was so deep?
Who knew?
Right? So as you're studying your business, as you are figuring out what works and what doesn't work for you, and you're analyzing that information and that data, you're going to start seeing trends. You're going to start picking up patterns. And it's in the analyzing and picking up those patterns that you start to turn what looks like failure into success. That makes sense?
It does.
Right. Anything to add to that?
No, I can tell you a lot of times I just correlate this to how many leads we go through, how many times you're calling people, how many times you have to follow up, how many times you have to consistently be in front of somebody, and how the conversion is very low.
Right.
And people don't really correlate that to, I've got to talk to 100 people in order to get one person to close. They don't really think through that, but it's simple math. It's simple math. The more people that you touch, the more opportunities and follow-ups that you do, it increases the likelihood that you can catch them, convert them, or get them in front of a lender or whatever. But people tend to not have the discipline or the commitment in order to do something consistently every day. And that is why, and you can speak to this, and you probably know this way better than I, but people who start in real estate after 1, 3, and 5 years, whether to me, it diminishes those people that do not do the follow through and do not have the commitment and the diligence. And year 3, 5, they're no longer there. You might have some stats on that.
No, it's real. Well, and that's business period.
Just period, of course, but I'm specifically.
That is business period, where over the course of 3 to 5 years, so 3 to 5 years, we got almost 60 people on this Zoom right now. 3 to 5 years, 90% of them will not be in business or this business in the next 5 years.
And I think if you assessed, just like the announcers were assessing this pitches and the hits or whatever, you can correlate it to what did they put in.
Yeah, it is. And so let me just say this, and let us say this. It's not easy, right? Let's just be clear. It's easy for us to talk about it, right? Easy, but then you got to go out and you have to actually activate it. You got to act on it. And you got to act on it day in, day out. You have to act on it whether you feel like it or not. You got to act on it when your head hurt, when your body hurt, when your toe hurt, when your neck hurt. You have to act on it. Yeah, I'm feeling some of these symptoms. You got to act on it when all these things are going on. You still have to show up.
You got to show up. When I was down, when I had my right knee meniscus surgery, could not move, was stuck in the bed. Where was my computer?
On your lap.
On my lap.
Yep.
It don't stop. It don't quit.
So you have to be disciplined. So what is self-discipline? It's basically, and I wrote it down, the ability to control yourself and make choices that serve your long-term goals.
Ooh, I hope Kennedy is on this
The
call.
Ability to control your, we just did a budget this weekend. The ability to control yourself and make choices that serve your long-term goals. There was a experiment, if you will, that was done called the marshmallow test. The marshmallow test.
Okay.
It was a test on kids.
Okay.
And they followed these kids over 40 years. 40 years. And so the marshmallow test started out like this. They gave a certain group of kids an option. Well, actually, they gave all the kids an option.
Okay.
1 marshmallow now or 2 marshmallows later.
Okay.
1 marshmallow now or 2 marshmallows later.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
And it almost split in half, where half of them took the marshmallow now. Right. They wanted it now. And the others took it later.
Okay.
And they followed these kids over a 40-year period. And I'm just going to simplify this. And what they found was the majority of the kids that took the marshmallows later were more successful in life than those that took it earlier.
I hope that sinks into everybody.
That's the trip, right? They followed them over 40 years.
Yeah. From that
test. From that test, because they wanted to see, they were studying self-discipline. And they wanted to see the effects of people who have self-discipline compared to those that don't over a long period of time.
Wow.
And if there was any correlation with self-discipline and success.
Okay.
And what we found is the ability to delay gratification is critical to success in life.
I believe it.
The ability to delay gratification, to discipline yourself, to not have it all right now in this moment and quickly is critical to success in life. And we all know this. Like we inherently know this.
We do.
We know if we keep on eating the way we're eating, if it's bad, it's going to have bad results.
Right.
We know if we keep just spending money, then you're not going to have anything saved. Like, we know this theoretically, but can you discipline yourself to actually be disciplined?
That's the question.
That's the
question right
and
there.
if you start looking at your day and your activity in your day, the things you know you're supposed to do, sound like Paul.
Yeah.
The things I do, I don't want to do. The things I want to do, I don't do. Yeah. The things you know you're supposed to do you do them? And do you do them consistently every day? Because you know these are the keys to success. Yeah. Are you disciplined enough? And what we tend to hear is people will say, I need an accountability partner.
Yeah.
And I'm not speaking against accountability partners. And obviously I'm not speaking against coaches. I'm not speaking against any of those things, but do recognize that self-discipline, your ability to discipline yourself, will remove a lot of the exterior things you think you need.
Or have to have.
Because guess what? There were successful people before there was ever an accountability partner or a success coach. Before those things were ever created. Right. It doesn't mean you shouldn't have someone there if you need someone there. That's good in recognizing that is a need. And I'm all for coaches. I'm all for accountability partners. But it doesn't mean that you should not recognize the challenge you have with you. Because in recognizing the challenge you have with you, you can work to either fix it or subsidize it.
Correct.
Right. You can bring in the support that you need in order to fill the gap, because we all have gaps.
Every last one of us. I think one of the key things that allowed us to continue to grow this brokerage at the pace and at the rate that God has allowed us to is that we understood that pretty much head on. The two of us can't do everything. Okay. We need to get other qualified staff members to come in and specialize in each department in order for each department to grow. But I started this from understanding my business very early on and how I needed help. And there's only, you get to a certain capacity level where if you don't get assistance, then it's a deficit to you trying to grow your business. And so I self-disciplined, put money aside and had a budget for that assistant that made $10 an hour for 20 hours a week. This is real, y'all. This is how it started. I had an assistant that I paid $10 an hour. She worked 20 hours a month, and that was my budget.
20 hours a week.
Sorry, a week, and that was my budget.
And while we could have said, man, nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to do that for that. Nobody wants to work part-time.
Right.
Nobody. We could have used any excuse in the world to not do it. But long-term vision, long-term goal. We're not going to talk us, and many of you do this, we're not going to talk ourselves out of our own vision by allowing excuses and all the negative things that could happen. Because the other side of that are all the positive things that could happen.
Yeah.
Right. There's never a one-sided piece to this. This is a two-sided coin.
But even the funny thing is, when negative does happen, it always, in my opinion, can be turned around for a positive. And we can write a book.
Because failures or negatives aren't working against you.
They're working.
They're moving you closer to success.
Absolutely.
If you have the self-discipline to stay the course and move forward.
Rhonda just hit Eddie like, I told you.
They are. They are moving you. They are moving you closer to success. They're not working against you.
They're working
we have
for
this
you.
mind. It's almost the same feeling we have when we hear the word no. We think no is negative. Yet we tell our kids no all the time. Right? We teach them that no's not a bad word. Sometimes I'm telling you no to help you. I'm telling you no to save you from something.
And no could be not now.
Right. But we get grown and we hear no from people, and all of a sudden we start running from the potential success because we don't want to hear the word no from somebody telling us they don't want to work with us, or they're not ready right now, or they don't. And so we may know this horrible negative thing, and it's not. We have to stop this mindset.
Especially if you want to be a business owner. Now, if you just want to be in your own world and this works for you, that's fantastic. But you've got to understand what you're signing up for. I don't think a lot of agents realize what they sign up for when they sign up to be a real estate agent. And when I say that, you're more than an agent. You're a brand, you're a business, you're an entrepreneur, you're a marketer, you're a COO, CFO. You are all of these things in one. And a lot of people do not comprehend what it takes to grow a business and to maintain a business, and honestly, probably don't have the skill set quite yet honed. And so that's why we're talking about things like this, to really redirect your mindset on what it's going to take, because we believe all of you can be successful.
Absolutely.
It would make us more joyful to be these 55 people 5 years from now. We're celebrating all of us being in business for another 5 years. That would be amazing. That's our prayer. But in order for that to happen, you've got to implement the self-discipline. You've got to make sure every day is meaningful. You've got to make sure every day is productive and not just busy. It will make a huge impact in your business for the long-term goals of you wanting to be in real estate. And I don't get caught up anymore on how many deals I close or whatever, because stuff changes.
Right.
My goal is to touch base, maintain open communication, make sure whoever's available or where they are. I do more consulting now than anything. Are y'all consulting now? Are y'all keeping up with the trends or what's going on in our market? These are the things that will set you apart, and that people, when they're ready, will want to come find you again. It's not all about now. It's all about the long-term pipeline business as well. And for the people that you've done business with, what are you doing to maintain your relationship with them? These are the kind of out-of-box thinkings that you must do as a business owner, so that you're not siloed on the only way to win is one way. There are a multitude of ways.
Yeah, there's no question about that. So strategies for building self-discipline, because at the end of the day, many of us just, we weren't raised with the tools.
That's true.
To understand, how do I become disciplined, or we didn't have a whole lot we had to look over, so we didn't really have to be disciplined. Yeah. Growing up, we didn't have these kids nowadays. They got a lot of stuff. They have a lot of stuff, right? Someone may not have had a lot of things as options. So when you didn't have a lot of options, it's a little bit easier to discipline yourself.
Yeah.
Right. My parents didn't run to McDonald's. There was no Chick-fil-A. We didn't it wasn't all these options. You ate at home, right? This is what you're gonna eat. And guess what? If you ate at home, you had to cook it.
Yeah.
Right. And so we grew up cooking. We grew up having to stay at home, and then going out was a treat.
What?
And that was maybe, and growing out, I'm gonna tell you right now, growing out for us was Brahms. It was Brahms. If we got to go to Brahms, I know that was big. That was big. And then it got to the point where I got old enough, they make me walk to Brahms to get the dinner for the family. I had to walk. What kind of treat is this? Right?
Well,
I had to walk to Brahms.
Hamburger. Okay.
Yeah, but I needed two by the time I got home, because I just spent so much energy walking to go get the food. Anyway, I digress. It wasn't like we do now.
Yeah.
And so now there's so many options out here where if you don't have skills to self-discipline,
oh man,
it is a challenge. As healthy as you may want to be, you still got to not eat X every day, all the time.
Ooh-wee.
Right?
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be eating, but you eat it anyway. Right? So anyway, strategies. One, accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability. Okay. Accountability to you in tracking your own habits. Tracking your own habits, tracking your own activity, tracking the things you do every day. Number one, accountability. There's this app out there called Habitica. 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 Habitica.
And what does that do?
It's like a gaming app, but it's task. And you can do different things with the app. You can reward yourself for completing tasks.
Okay.
Right. You can set different treats. Like you can put in the things you need to do, or put in the things you've done. Right. Okay. So you can say, these are the things I need to do today. Now this is what I actually did. And then you can get rewards for achieving the task. Okay. Because one study talked about one of the ways to help become more disciplined or one of the challenges of being disciplined is people get focused in on the waiting period.
Yeah.
Right. So they get focused in on the waiting period and they need something that distracts them from what's going on during the waiting. System. Right.
Yeah.
Or they need the reward for the wait. Right. So look into that app. Right. Or just do it old school. Right. Just write down things you do every day.
To do.
Just write down the things that you have to do and then write down what you actually did. Track your activity, track your habits, and that will help you with accountability. Because then as you're looking at it, you can say, this is what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
This is what I did.
And it makes you have a feeling of success, I'm sure, once you feel like you've accomplished what you set out to do.
But if nothing else, it gives you insight to the information. As intelligent as we are and as great as a memory as we all know we have, pause for effect, we still will not remember every single thing that happened every single day because we will start to make it seem grander than it actually was.
Sure.
This is why we say, I was super busy today. We don't say I was super productive today.
Yeah.
Right. We say, I was super busy today. Yeah, great. People will use this excuse even with us. We'll hear somebody struggling and we'll talk to them and they'll say, I didn't want to bother you because you're busy.
Yeah. Are you serious?
Excuse me? First of all, no disrespect. I run my own schedule. You have no clue what my day is like. Don't assume because I have things to do that I don't have time to do other things, especially when it comes to helping you.
Right.
Right. And because I'm productive in my day, I don't have to try to figure out where I can fit you. If you need to meet with me, I have my day organized. You don't know it. You don't see it.
Sure.
Where I can fit you in.
Right.
But if you need help, stop making an excuse and saying that I didn't want to bother you.
Correct.
That makes no sense to me. I would never struggle when I have someone there willing to help me that I know has dealt with, gone through, and continues to help others get through these same struggles. Why would I sit there in silence and struggle? What level of arrogance is this? What level of pride is this where you'd rather not have success and not have help than to raise your hand and say, I'm struggling, I need help?
I don't know. Good question. And only they can answer that.
Don't do that. It is not necessary to do that. It's different if you have no other options and you have to figure it out on your own. You have options, but you have to be accountable. The next piece is setting your SMART goals. Setting your SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, within a certain time frame. SMART goals. It is not enough to say, I want to make $100,000. You need to specify. You need to make sure that you can measure how the steps, things you're going to do. Is that attainable? I want to make $100,000 in the next 2 months and I've made zero so far, right? Is it relevant or realistic? And then what is the time frame? It is in these SMART goals that you write down or put in your phone or wherever you have them. And then we're measuring them over the course of time.
Yeah.
And the SMART goals should have tasks attributed and steps related to it. So you don't just set a goal. Now you set the task and the steps. And so the steps are doing the things that achieve the task. And if I do enough of the task, I receive the goal. It's a 3-tier approach. It's not just I have a goal and then, okay, I got a goal. And then now what? Okay, you got a goal. So what's the task needed? And then what steps are attributed for those tasks to be accomplished? And that's how you lay out your strategy so you can duplicate and repeat it when you have success.
And you can't just do that and then leave it to the side. You have to revisit it consistently and continually because it may need to be tweaked. That's the facts of it. But at least you have something to go back and tweak.
Right. The next thing is controlling environmental elements. Controlling environmental elements. That's just a fancy way of saying stop looking at your phone every time it beeps. Stop looking at your email every time it chimes at you. Stop acting like Pavlov's dogs, where we have been trained that when this doggone thing goes, beep, 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 then we're like, oh my God, well, who is this? What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What? Stop. That's why they spam it so much, because they know they can get your attention. They know that we are so trained in on these devices that we're letting external things distract us from being productive and getting the stuff done that needs to get done. Mm-hmm. Put yourself on a schedule. It could be as disciplined as this. Check your email in the morning, before lunch, after lunch, before the day ends. Unless you're waiting on something that is coming through, sure, that you're negotiating a deal and you're looking for something specific, yeah, put that thing down and go to work. Stop texting all day long. Just because it rings don't mean you got to answer it. Just because somebody sends you a text don't mean you got to read it right then. We have so bought into this thing where we're removing discipline and production for appearing busy. Mary says, I feel attacked. I love it. I love it. I love it. But this is real talk.
Yeah.
This is absolutely real talk. Discipline yourself to control your external environment. Mm-hmm. And you will find your production, when you're doing the steps to the task to hit the goals consistently day in and day out, is going to skyrocket, and you will start seeing your business turn around.
Facts.
These are factual things, right, that are going to help you become self-disciplined, yeah, and achieve success.
And the goals that I hope you have in place. I think if you don't have goals, if you don't have a vision, you fail.
You will fail. Mm-hmm. You will fail. Or let's say you succeed, you can't scale it. Mm-hmm. You can't repeat it, mm-hmm, because you have no clue how it happened.
How it happened. It was like a fluke.
It just happened. Mm-hmm. And so now you're going to chase trying to recreate it. Mm-hmm. And you can't recreate it because you didn't know how it happened. It was magical, mm-hmm, right? It was just magical. But no one does a magic trick the same one every day, all day, every minute, all day. They shift these magic tricks, right? Mm-hmm. Because you would get bored in watching the same magic trick all day long. All day long, and it would not be productive. You can't duplicate it. No. It is not magic. It is discipline that leads to success. Mm. But discipline like this, webinar, this Zoom, this isn't fancy. This isn't rah-rah. This isn't make you feel good. Most of these Zooms aren't. Because we purposely don't do that, because you get enough rah-rah, you get enough feel good, you get enough stuff that pumps up your emotions and gets you super excited. I'm not trying to ignite your emotion. We're trying to ignite your brain. I'm not trying to make you physically feel good. I'm trying to get you to the level where you can afford to feel good. These are different things we're trying to do here. We're not trying to promote and hype ourselves. We're trying to help you get to whatever your next level is.
Whatever that may be.
And so, yeah, while we love, support, encourage, and want to see you succeed, there's this balance of here is reality, mm-hmm, look at you. Are you the problem? Because once you've looked at everybody else, and once you pointed all these fingers at all the other people, and you still in the same place where you've been, it's time to put that mirror up and look at yourself and ask yourself, have I been disciplined enough to take advantage of everything that's afforded to me and put the things in place to be successful? Or am I looking for the easy, quick route? Only you can answer that.
Only you can.
But as for me and my house, clearly I will not be going to Texas Roadhouse because there are no more seats open. Because clearly,
not in your house, just you. I'm going.
Woo. And with that, you have anything to add? Because that's it. That's it. I mean, that is, at the end of the day, we're right up on our 30-minute window, or our window. But at the end of the day, there's no, the thing is out right now, success has receipts, right? Everybody likes to say that success has receipts, right? Success has, that's the hot buzzword right now. Success has receipts. Success not only has receipts, success has very specific steps.
Yeah.
Very specific steps. And you're not going to cheat the steps. It's going to require specific actions. And it's going to require discipline.
I would challenge all of you guys on here, whoever you deem is successful to you. For my daughter, it's Beyonce. Okay. Right. I would encourage you to actually kind of research that particular person. And I bet you will find through their success, they've had defeat, they've had disappointments, they've had all the spectrum of things that you have when you are successful, because there's never a straight shot. There's always a little bit of this. And let it be encouraging to you, because if you study anybody who has had a heightened level of success, I get so intrigued because they always talk about the behind the scenes, the work put in, the sacrifices made. And I'm not just talking about for a little bit.
Right.
I'm talking about for years and years, and things that failed over and over again until they reached the pinnacle that we now see them at, which is the success that oh my gosh, you can't believe there were gazillionaires and all this kind of stuff. But Tyler Perry started in his homelessness in his car. Now he is a billionaire and owns a movie studio because his 35 years of other stuff in between before we see him now, no one wants to talk about that. But I would encourage you guys to go back and look at the before. And I bet you it's going to talk about some self-discipline, sacrifice, commitment. It's going to have all of those kind of nuggets in there. And if you don't have those nuggets in there, you may not reach the level of success that you're believing or envisioning for yourself, because the trajectory isn't boom. It's often a little bit can y'all see a little bit bumps and bruises along the way.
And let's, to kind of put it all together, it doesn't stop.
Oh gosh, no.
So your discipline doesn't stop.
It can't. Not for you to scale.
As you get higher.
Yeah, I can't.
It doesn't stop.
I would say it gets even heightened.
It does, because you're now responsible for more people. Right? You're responsible for more things.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stop. Here's the question, that if you ever got a chance to interview someone that you think is super successful or you admire what they've built, ask them why they didn't quit. But don't ask them why they didn't quit now that they've gotten success.
No, when that was hard.
Ask them along their journey to identify a point where they weren't having success yet and why they didn't quit.
Yeah. That's the question.
And don't let them get away with saying, well, you see all this now, this is why they quit, because they didn't have it then. They didn't have it then. They didn't have the visual then. They have a dream, they had a goal, they had a vision, but they didn't have the manifestation
yet.
You have to get into those moments of when it was tough, why you didn't quit. When it didn't go your way, why didn't you quit? When that deal didn't close, why didn't you quit? When you went 6 months without a lead, why didn't you quit? Yeah. When you went the whole year and you didn't hit your goal, why didn't you quit? When doggone the association wants another year worth of money, because here we come the end of the year again, and I didn't have as much, why didn't you quit? These are the questions you have to get the answers to, because this is the reality of what you're facing. And if you can overcome the tendency to walk away before you get the treat, you can work through and gain the reward.
So are you a 1 marshmallow or a 2 marshmallow person?
You're gonna have to answer that question. Because we all are 1 or 2. Some of y'all want 3 marshmallows, but you're willing to wait for them.
I'll wait for them.
So it's all good. All right, y'all. We will see you in one of these trainings. Cassie's gonna do what are you doing? Script practice at 11 o'clock on the Zoom.
Don't miss it, y'all.
If you have anybody looking to join, looking to move this time of year with people trying to move brokerages, remember $200 for your referral. So reach out, let us know. We'd love to talk to them.
Have a great week, y'all.